When we last left off with The Flash, our cliffhanger was the death of Wally West. And now with Heroes in Crisis 1 out on our channel, you can see how it happened. So today we're going to be covering The Flash Annual, in which you will see exactly how the Flash family reacts to the death of one of the strongest members of their family, Wally West Flash. This is the complete story series where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand, and then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. And if you want to talk about this issue with me, join me at twitch.tv/eligiblemonster, where I am live right now at the time of launching this video. In our last video, Flash learned the truth about the Force Avatars and how the four of them were constantly waging war with each other in an attempt to claim the Forever Force. The thing that started to bother the Flash most was something that Booster Gold had said during one of the fights. Wally. After defeating Psyche and Gemini, Flash hurried to Sanctuary, where Wally was staying only to find that someone killed him, as Heroes in Crisis is still going. But what is the Flash family going to do with this information? The winds quietly blow over the fields of Sanctuary as Flash holds Wally's costume. He stares, thinking back to when Wally was younger and how he grew up into the man that he is today. Without saying a word, the Flash takes off, and before Superman can go after him, Batman tells him, "Let him be." Flash begins to run faster and faster, until there's a crack-a-goom as the Flash enters the Speed Force, shouting for Wally. Wally can't really be gone, can he? He has to be somewhere in the Speed Force, right? With the Flash, he falls to his knees, yelling, "He can't. He's not." And then a voice calls out to him. He quickly turns back, and as he does, Godspeed punches him, shouting, "You're not supposed to be here!" Flash rubs his face, asking, "How are you here? Where have you been all this time?" Godspeed runs off, and the Flash chases after him, yelling, "You can't outrun me!" And as the Flash reaches out for him, Godspeed turns around asking, "Is that a fact? What if I wanted you to believe that?" With a thundering crack-a-goom, Godspeed pushes the two of them back outside of the Speed Force. And the Flash asks, "Is this how you're gonna get your redemption?" Godspeed tells him, "It all takes actions, not words. I've made it my life's mission to clean up the Flash's mess. I'm sorry I gotta leave you now, but the future needs saving." Meanwhile, over in Iron Heights, Kid Flash and Avery pay a visit to Mina when the three of them hear someone calling out. Godspeed stops before them, stating, "Oh look, a family reunion!" And Mina shouts, asking, "What is he doing here?" Godspeed tells her that he came looking for her, but having the kids here saves me some trouble. Flash jumps in front of Godspeed, telling him, "You need to stop before you do something stupid. What is this about, Godspeed?" And Godspeed looks at him. "You're just gonna have to trust me on this. When it's all over, you're gonna see that I'm the hero that I'm trying to be." Flash tells him, "Whatever it is, we can work on it together. But you're not going anywhere near these kids." Godspeed runs around attacking the guards, asking, "What about them? Shouldn't be a problem hurting them, right?" Flash grabs Godspeed, slamming him into the wall, shouting for Kid Flash and Avery to run. And then there's a loud crack as Godspeed shocks the Flash, telling him, "No, stay." The Flash's body is thrown across the jail cell, and Mina tells Godspeed, "Look, the Flash is the only one who ever believed in you. I've studied the Speed Force long enough to know that there's something wrong with you. Is there someone in your head?" Godspeed grabs Mina by the head, telling her, "I've never seemed more lucid." With another crack, lightning strikes Mina, and Godspeed says that he's doing this for their own good. Kid Flash and Avery charge back in, knocking Godspeed back, shouting to get away from her. But as Godspeed runs around them, he tells them, "Come on, chill out. I can only imagine how tense everyone is since Wally kicked the bucket, but fighting isn't gonna make any of us feel any better." Kid Flash and Avery stomp, and they ask, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" Godspeed asks, "Did Flash really not tell you? Wally West is dead." Godspeed reappears, grabbing Avery, shocking her the same as Mina, and then he moves on to Kid Flash, telling him, "I should forget about being in your Flash family." The Flash leaps up, charging into Godspeed, shouting, "You are not a part of our family. You never have been, and you never will be." He begins to punch Godspeed over and over, and then he stops to breathe, noticing the blood on his hands. Godspeed coughs, telling him, "Now I get it. You gotta burn off those pesky feelings somehow. Someday you'll see. All I'm trying to do is warn you. Whatever you did, they don't just hate the Flash. They hate all speedsters." Godspeed gets up, punching Flash away, telling him that this gauntlet belonged to another speedster and has been modified for a new purpose. "But before I go, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about your loss." He takes off, asking, "Were they listening? The mission is complete. There are no more speedsters to collect from." But that's when Impulse appears and kicks Godspeed in the head, asking, "Dude, who are you?" Impulse begins to beat into Godspeed, throwing him into a gas station pump, and Godspeed asks, "Who is this? Some new sidekick?" Looks like there's one more to collect from. As Godspeed attempts to hit Impulse though, Impulse vibrates away, and with a loud crack, a voice calls out to Godspeed telling him, "You are not ready for this speedster. Enter the Speed Force now." Godspeed asks, "What are you talking about? He's just a kid." Whatever. I guess teaching him a lesson will have to wait. As Godspeed escapes, Impulse shrugs, asking, "Who's that guy talking to?" "Oh well, I'm gonna need some answers, and I know just where to get them." Later at Star Labs, Kid Flash's scan finishes and he asks, what did Godspeed do to them? The Flash says as far as he can see, nothing. He didn't hurt any of them or leave any lasting effects, so... Mina says that she hates to admit it, but she's stumped too. As the guards take Mina back, Kid Flash jumps on the table and asks, "So are we gonna talk about it? Is Wally dead?" The Flash looks away, telling him it's true. And Kid Flash yells, "Bull! If it was true, you'd be a mess right now. Mina was just here, right? Remember when Godspeed killed her, and now she's walking around? And how about this? Does Iris know Barry?" The Flash tries to think of something to say, but Kid Flash tells him, "I knew it. You couldn't help yourself, still keeping secrets no matter who you hurt. You never change, and that's a Flash fact. Every time you've ever disappointed me or gotten upset, I was the one who ran away, but now it's the Flash's turn." Later back at their home, Iris hears the sound of thunder and she says that she knows that sound. Almost. But before she can even drink from her cup, the Flash runs in. Images of Wally run through Flash's head and Iris turns back asking if he's finally gonna tell her what's going on But then she accidentally drops the plates, and as it hits the ground, Iris says that she's used to him grabbing the plates before it lands, but Barry takes off the mask, and he says something bad happened at Sanctuary. Iris throws her cup, shouting, No, we just got him back. Do something, go back in time. People like you and Wally, those heroes always die and come back. We've all seen it before. He came back once before, he could do it again. The Flash reaches out, stating that it's not like that. He saw Wally and she slams her fist on the dining room table, yelling, "You have to find out who did this and kill them." Flash is taken back by those words and says that she can't mean that. Falls to her knees crying, yelling, "No, she knows, it's just..." But all the Flash can do is comfort Iris the best that he can. In the first epilogue at the Flash Museum, Impulse stares up at the statues of Flash and Wally, stating that this isn't right. Like, it's the same, but something is missing. Wally's costume is super cool and all, but that isn't the Wally that he knows. Even the museum has changed. It's all wrong now. This isn't like time passed or people are missing. This is bigger than that. He may not be able to find his family, but he knows what they would do. And that's never give up hope. I'll see you soon, Wally. I know it. For now, I need to find my friends. Epilogue number 2. Elsewhere, Godspeed steps out of the Speed Force, stating that he did what needed to be done. He betrayed the Flash and it sucked. The voice from before asks, why did he say that he was sorry for his loss? And Godspeed asks, "Oh, you were listening. I met Wally once, and he knows that Wally meant a lot to Barry. Can't imagine what kind of pain he's in, but then he rushes in and twists the knife. This doesn't sit well with him, and it all better be worth it." The voice tells him it will be. They've seen how the Flash has hurt the time stream. Ever since they were freed from Iron Heights in the 25th century, they have witnessed how destructive the Flash's actions are. Godspeed takes off the gauntlet, handing it over, telling him, "Yeah, well, this thing worked like a charm. Allowed me to move in and out of the Speed Force with ease, along with getting Speed Force samples of all the speedsters that I could find." The voice tells him, "Good. The Flash family will pay for what they did to their family. By the time they're finished, there will be no more speedsters." And there you have it, the reaction to the team. Now, if you're wondering where Impulse went, we've already covered the story Young Justice, and you can go check out where he went after this. And if you want to know what's going on with the Flash, well, subscribe to the channel because we will be continuing the Heroes in Crisis storyline following the follow-up reactions to Wally's death and Arsenal's death. And we will also be covering the Flash-Batman crossover, The Price, which ties into this whole thing. And we get to see everyone's true reactions to Wally West a few weeks after the event so that it's more settled in as to what's actually going on. So subscribe to the channel to get more of that. Find me over at twitch.tv/eligiblemonster if you want to talk to me directly about comic books or video games. And I'll see you next time right here.